Hello, 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 hello. I hope people are doing well. I think that the sound is going to be good. Sound check, 1 2 1 2. As always, hope that you're all doing very well and looking forward to this stream today. Wow. What a day of trading it has been. I actually I've been locked in today. I have been locked in and feel like I've traded it pretty well, to be honest. So I want to talk you through this. And I was exhausted. I'm not going to lie. I was exhausted after today's trading session because it really required a lot of mental focus. And I was about to just go and plonk out and just go for a sleep. But I thought, you know what? I really just felt a desire to just share a few things before before I go to sleep, essentially. So I thought I also was longing for a connection with the community, and I thought, what better way to do this? So I was going to do a pre-recorded video and just upload it, a quick 5-minute video, but I thought, there's something better. We can go live on YouTube, have a chat, discuss trading, discuss what's happening in the charts. I can take a look at Bitcoin, and if you make enough noise, I'll take a look at Ethereum. So we can take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and have a good time here on a Friday evening as the work week winds down for the majority of us, right? We are 10 past 5 here on a Friday evening, and we're going to take a look at some charts. So if that sounds fun, lock in with us here as we bring us over to the charts. First of all, I'll just say hello, hello, hello. We have a lot of people in here this evening. So yeah, good evening, everybody. Somebody says, seems like the bull market is over. We can take a look at that. So BB asks, is the bull market over? Hello, Clever Customs Performance. Hope you're doing well, my friends. Hamaz, Frank, lots of Brandon. We got lots of people in the chat. Hope that you are Igor. Yo, yo, yo. Hope you're well, my friend. I myself am doing very well, thank you. Anyway, we got lots of people in the chat. I'll be here all night if I'm going to go through everybody's names. So let's jump over to the charts, though, and we can begin today's stream. So it's not going to be a super long stream. It's going to be a little bit casual, just, chilling out a little bit here, discussing some charts. And yeah, if you have any questions, of course, you can always ask them, and I will do my best to answer them for you. So Bitcoin. Wow. I mean, this is a hell of a chart, right? So it all stemming after this massive move to the downside. And this was a special, let's call it a special month, because rewind 1 month. I obviously had the short from the failed auction of all-time high. So we really simply had that all-time high, previous all-time high. We done the failed auction of the all-time high, and that for me was the short trade. So it was a short trade that I took. It's a short trade that I still have open today. There has been no sign of strength on a higher term time frame. There has been no reason to close that short. So that short from the all-time high that I took a month ago, I proudly still have open today. But you all know, after that failed auction, major move to the downside, we came into the most critical level of support, which was between $108,000 and $107,000. And at this point, I have taken take profit 1 on my short trade, and I started to build this long trade, right? So I have my long trades from around $107,500 was my average fill. We built our way up. Then we got a pullback yesterday where I compounded my long. And then I've already made a YouTube video today. So you got your second bit of YouTube content for the day. Where were we in that video? We were right around here. We were right around here as I was making that video. And I said, I am not shorting yet. I am not taking profits on my long yet. I am going to wait for another new high to come. And I was aiming towards the range value area high. For me, that range value area high was absolutely key. Well, that was, in fact, the correct decision. As what happened next, we went on to make another new high, and I will pull the range value areas in a second. And then, of course, we made that new high. We spent a few hours there, and then we've just seen this very large, very quick move to the downside, which is extremely correlated with the stock market. Stock market had a very, very large move to the downside. Bitcoin is just very, very, very likely going to follow along, and follow along it did. So the stock market started to drop first, and Bitcoin decided to follow along, minutes later. And this is why I always will say, as a trader, you do always want to be looking at the stock market, even if you do have zero interest in trading the stocks. Times like today, they can offer very, very good heads up. Just write it down. The stock market pulls back heavily. Bitcoin extremely likely to pull back heavily. So that's just something you want to bear in mind. But there were a few different reasons of why Bitcoin also hit into the resistance. So the first thing, and this is the exact fixed range that I was showing you earlier, if you again watched the YouTube video, it's the same fixed range, the same way I've been pulling it since the beginning. I've been taking it from this area of consolidation from Wednesday the 9th. Okay, that's always been the same place of the start of the pull. Moving it over to the current price action. Value area low was our key level. Look at this. We have, this is adjusting with the new price. We have now hit into that value area low. With that move to the upside that we saw towards New York Open, we can say the value area low of the range has now been tapped. Okay, that's the fixed range pull, the exact one I was showing you earlier. The value area low has now been tapped. That for me is a very, 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 very important level. But we had a few things a little bit prior to this as well, which I want to just say very quickly. But the first thing and most important is the value area low importance. Of course, it has adjusted slightly. It was sat ever so slightly above the 28th of August high. That has now adjusted downwards. That is, of course, taking into account the new data. But that is something to very much be aware of. The value area low here. Back tested. Next, I want to show you very quickly this CME chart, because this was really, really, really key as well. So this is the CME chart where we have this massive gap. This is a gap that was left from the end of August. You'll remember this. We had that large move to the upside. And of course, we moved down from the Friday close to the Sunday open. We had a move to the downside. And so the gap formed here on the CME chart. Again, a very, very, very important level. After forming that gap, we had a move down. We back tested, and this was a hard trade. This for me was a very, very, very difficult to read price action. It was kind of looking for the reclaim. It was looking for the acceptance, but it never really got given. And this was what I called, a very difficult time to trade. It was neither acceptance or a rejection at the time of this point of the chart. Very difficult trade. But what we had today was a to the dollar back test of the gap. So this gap is still in play. This is still a live CME gap. The theory is, well, that gap is resistance. Okay, first of all, the gap is resistance. If you get acceptance into the gap, that's where you look for the gap to then be filled. So the acceptance is key. Again, this was difficult to read because it was like you were above, you were back down below, you're above, you're back down below, you're above, you're back down below. Literally, each candle above or below, above or difficult. That's where you have to understand trading. We can have these theories, but sometimes it's difficult to execute. And myself, I didn't actually short that because I found it a difficult short to execute. Okay. No, not to worries. But what you had today was a much more easier sign. So that gap still in play. You actually back tested it to the dollar. So while you got that move up on and around that New York Open, you had the back test of the CME gap. Okay, so you back tested that CME gap again to the absolute dollar there, pretty much to the absolute dollar. Okay, so remember, this is where I was making the YouTube video saying I'm still looking for another new high. We come in and we made that new high. We then back tested the CME to the dollar. And I just remind you again of the real big importance of the value area low, right? And so now hit into that value area low. And so rewind, I had the short from the failed auction of all-time high. Brought it down and I took my take profit one on the short towards the absolute low of the move. And then here started to build my swing long trade where I was not taking any profits, not taking any profits, not taking any profits. Even here, not taking any profits, compounded my long, I bought more. And then here, I was not even taking profits. But this is something that I am very, very, very proud of. Again, this is not hindsight. This was live in the time. I took profit, my friends. If you're a champion member, you already know this. But I actually hit my take profit live in the time. You can see here the print screen literally from 1:35 UK time, posting that in the group 1:36 UK time. So within a minute of me locking in my profits, I'm telling the team, the champion members, that for me is now the finally the take profit one taken. It was right on the data release, and this was something we were ready and waiting for. Today you had the NFP, you had the unemployment rates. Okay, people are going to say this has come out very bearish. So anyway, I'm not really bothered on the numbers, but I was very bothered about the volatility. I knew that this volatility was coming. Okay, I was ready and waiting for it. And this is the edge in the market, right? You are ready and waiting for that volatility. Again, I do not care about the NFP numbers, but I do care about the volatility that is going to be bring. That is going to be bring. That will be brung. That will come. Man, I had a really funny comment in one of my videos today. They were like, Daniel, you keep saying reactive. If you see this, I do read every single time. I read every single comment. I love the comments, by the way. But this one made me laugh. Do you want to see this? Let me find it. It made me laugh. Daniel, just a quick tip. You keep saying reactionary, which is a political ideology opposed to progress and reform. I think the word you are looking for is reactive trading, as you're just reacting to the situation. So yeah. I thank you for always striving to improve my English skills. So yeah. I can't even remember what I was saying now, but the volatility, we were ready and waiting for it. The volatility came. And, you know, this is, again, not hindsight. This is not ifs, buts, maybes, but it was live in the time. Again, that drop, look at when that drop came in. That drop started to happen actually towards 3 o'clock. You know, we made these highs. You can see 1:50, you know, 2 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. You know, could have locked this in and followed along pretty easily, right? Again, this was take profit was given at 1:30. You went sideways there for another half an hour, you know, hour and a half really before the actual big drop. But I just want to really emphasize that. Really want to emphasize that the first take profit during the whole of that swing long was locked in at the very high, and that's what occurred, you know, about an hour and a half later, this massive drop that we are seeing. And it's not just to say, oh, look at me, I done it. But I want you to understand now, you know, some of the reasons behind it, because that's where you can learn. That's what, you know, that's why I want to explain this. I don't need the pats on the backs. I don't need the look. I really don't care about that, to be honest with you. What I care about is you listening now and learning why I knew to lock in that take profit and, you know, protecting ourselves, because it's all well and good. You know, it's all well and good having the long at the lows, but if we never take profits, again, the management of the trade is more important than the entry. It's more important than the overall exit, right? You want to manage that trade well, and truly, you know, love me or hate me, the way I managed that trade was the most perfect way possible to manage. Long in the absolute low, and then again, no hindsight, taking profit during that massive bit of volatility at the very high of the move. Not, no, I might not take profits here. I want to see higher, or no, I'm going to close the whole, take my profits, move on, right? So again, we had a few different levels of Confluence and stock market actually getting the SFP at the lows here. So let's bring it back a second. So of course, hitting into that value area low, what are we looking at next? Well, actually, no, first of all, let me explain that take profit. So again, it's all about the trade management, right? Well, I would have liked to have seen these highs taken out from the 28th of August. That is something that I would have liked. But I also acknowledge, you know, I'm talking about a difference of 0.2%. And this is where it comes down to, let me just take a drink really quick. Okay, just for me, again, I would have liked to have seen 0.2% higher. But I understood two factors. Number one is the data release itself. Okay, the numbers were not great, we could say. But on top of that, it's just understanding we've seen the wick to the upside. And after this, I don't want to be at the mercy of the market, right? I want to be in control. And again, my major take profit, my major short is 0.2% away. what's the advantage of waiting? There's no 0.2% is a minuscule difference, and I think the only thing there is ego, right? The only reason why you might not take profit there, wanting a 0.2%, right? I think it comes down to ego, but because there's enough reason to say, well, there is enough for me anyway. There is enough reason to say, well, I'm finally going to lock in my take profit. I don't want to be the trader that has epic longs, takes no profit, market dumps and gives it all back, right? I've been that trader before, right? I used to be the trader that would get into good trades. I would never take profits. Every trade, round trip, round trip. Now, I went through the pain. I went through the suffering. I learned my lessons. And, you know, that's anyway why I decided to lock in that take profit one. And then it was just pretty epic how it was the exact high of the move. So don't know what else to tell you about that, but yeah, that's CC pool for you. We're taking profits at the exact time, and then we of course seen this drop to the downside. So we move on to the question, I suppose, of is this the high for Bitcoin? Okay, are we now about to see new lows? Are we about to see a big drop to the downside? Okay, I will analyze that in the best way possible for you and give you my opinion. So again, stock market very correlated to Bitcoin. We would be very silly not to follow along with the stocks. So one thing I think we got to bear in mind is this is a move happening on a Friday evening. Okay, so it's never I'm never a fan, to be honest, of taking trades on a Friday evening. Okay, now we're entering that evening period. Thus, you know, this is why I've literally said it. I've locked in for the day. I'm not interested in taking in another trade. I've used all of my mental capacity today. And I am tired. So that's one factor why I don't want to take a trade. But the second factor is it's a Friday evening. And just historically speaking, this is not a good time to take a trade. You got the weekend price action coming up. Of course, the CME is going to be closing. The stock market is going to be closing. The volume is going to be lower. Of course, I trade many weekends, many Saturdays, many Sundays. I'll come in here, I'll log on and I'll take a trade. So I understand I can trade weekend price action, yes. But is it an ideal swing long or swing short situation to lock in on a Friday evening? I do not think that this is a good time. It's just unlikely that you put in any strong pivot on a Friday evening. Okay, no majority of the time you put in a pivot on a Friday evening, well, you get a better entry next week. So in that regards, also, I do not have a desire to enter a trade here at this pivot personally. So then we start to come into consideration of, okay, where can we be looking for a good long? Where can we be looking for a good short? And answer the question of, is this the high? Is this the high on Bitcoin? Well, let's just very quickly refer to Ethereum. So Ethereum trading still towards, you know, I'm in a bit of a, I personally would like to see a little bit lower on ETH. I am looking to load up. I do have longs from lower on Ethereum, by the way. But I would like to load up again below $4,000. So I would like to load up anywhere between $3,500 to $4,000 would be my next, you know, very, very, very interesting zone here of support on Ethereum. Okay, between $4,000 and $3,500. So I think to myself, well, that requires another 8 to 15% drop on Ethereum. So that's just, you know, very black and white. Where would we be trading with another 8 to 15% off? And we're going to be looking down. You can see we're going to be looking down towards $100,000 Bitcoin. Do I think Bitcoin's on its way to $100,000 right now? Let me tell you this. I'm happy I'm in a short trade. Okay, so that's what I would say. I am very happy I am in a short trade. I do not think I would want to be at the mercy of the market right now in no shorts. That doesn't answer the question, I know. A very political answer. But I am happy I'm in shorts. Are we going to $100,000 next? Well, I think that there are some very big weakness signs showing. But here locally, trading below the point of control, we're still above the value area low. It's a very difficult call here. I'm I still have to maintain the opinion while we maintain 107k. I'm not leaning too bearish. So what do we have here that could lead us for new highs? Well, we can view this as a little bit of a, again, very simple things, but left shoulder, heads. What could we be doing here? This could be forming a right shoulder. That then gives us an inverse head and shoulders, which is a bottoming pattern on Bitcoin. Again, this is very simple things, but doesn't need to be complicated here. That if we are to see a very nice head and shoulders play out, we continue to hold higher lows. We're going to be targeting, well, I think we can have $15,500 just understood from the low there, 15.7. But of course, officially this target for what it's worth would be coming in towards $119,000. That would be a left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Again, volume is absolutely crucial on this. Does this even fit the volume profile as it stands? Let's take a look for you all. We saw a very large increase in volume on the right, well, the top of the head right now. So we did see a very large, so the volume is not perfect. Okay, I would have liked to have seen more volume at the low, but it's not a bad profile here. Okay, the key would be if and when we come up again for this retest. Okay, so if we are to see this do the right shoulder and break up again, we need to see the big volume increase here. That's very, very, very key for if we are to get bullish continuation through that head and shoulders. So I'd be aware of that. So again, am I looking necessarily right now for $100,000 on Bitcoin? Well, this is where you have to understand that trading is a little bit complex. It's not so easy to just say yes or no. I would say higher term time frame, we have got confirmed weakness here. We have clearly lost the range value area low. We have clearly backtested it once, backtested it twice. It's very much holding as resistance right now. So in that regards, that's why I say I'm happy I'm in a short trade, because I wouldn't want to be only in longs. I wouldn't want to be super exposed here, only in a long trade, because that is a confirmation of higher term time frame weakness. But the reason why I cannot be too bearish is because we are above that $107,000 crucial support. So you're in a little, well, essentially what you're in right now is no surprise to anybody, but a range. You have the overall range low. Overall range low. You have the overall range high. Right, you are really simply right now just going from high to low to high. Well, now we're coming towards the midpoint of that channel again. So if you pull like a parallel channel on this, highs, lows, I mean, look at that, to total perfection, right? You've literally just bounced off of the midpoint of the channel. I mean, look at the support resistance of this midpoint, by the way. Just love to see that. Look at that. All support resistance flips off the midpoint. Here, support resistance off the midpoint. Look at that midpoint. Look at that midpoint. Just, that is really, really, really well respected midpoint of the channel. That is something I just love to see. So, you know, this is what I mean. You cannot really be too bullish here, because you have seen higher term, well, medium term time frame weakness with the loss and back tests of value area lows. That's some medium term time frame weakness. So I wouldn't be too bullish because of that. But I also wouldn't be too bearish, because essentially we are just range bound at a crucial support. Essentially, the one way to trade this is you come down to the range low zone, you look for those longs. You come back up to the range high zone, you look for the shorts. Or if you do not like shorting the markets, you long here, you take profit here. You long here, you take profit back up here, right? It's just the ebb and flow of the market going sideways. And if the market is to be bullish, well, this is our accumulation of the left shoulder, of the head, of the right shoulder accumulation. We get a bit of a move to the upside. I wouldn't rule out a spring. So I'm not going to do a whole accumulation wick-off pattern for you all here, because it's going to be too time consuming. But a spring is essentially a fake out. Another move to the downside, fake out the lows. That again gives you a spring pattern. Could be viewed as a failed auction swing. There's essentially a spring. Of course, it would invalidate our head and shoulders here, but it would give you a spring for new highs. So I wouldn't rule out a spring here. But I still do feel, you know, if I have to say, am I bullish or am I bearish here? Again, it's very difficult. I'm very, very, very difficult. I would say maybe slightly more bullish. but very cautious here. I mean, slightly more bullish simply because we have just seen we are down at a support zone. So be a bit, I think at the end of the day, I would want to be open to trading both sides of this market. We can take a little bit more of an in-depth look at Ethereum, though, for sure. Because a lot of the time, Ethereum actually can give heads up on Bitcoin. So sometimes where I'm a little bit, 50-50 on Bitcoin, I can look at Ethereum and it can give a very good heads up. Okay, and that kind of leans the bias one way or the other, bullish or bearish. Before I do that, I want to do just one. Actually, we'll do two things really quickly. Number one is, it's a Chart Champions video, so you know what's happening. We're going to give away $1,000, as always. What I will do with this one is, let's think about this. Let me know. Write a comment. I'm going to give away $1,000 right now. Shall I give $100 to 10 people? Should we give $500 to 2 people, or should we give $1,000 to 1 person? Let me know, chat. For me, I would probably vote the way that we've been doing it. 2 people, $500 each, because it's a pretty good amount, right? You can do a lot with $500, and I don't need to send 10 different transactions. And yeah, not sure I can be bothered to send out 10 different payments today, but I will happily send 2 payments, but 10s. So if I can sway your opinion, you can vote 500 to 2 people. There we go. Look at this. My lovely friends. We are seeing 500 to 2 people, 2 people for 500, 2 people. Yes, 2 people, $500. We can see lots of comments. People are in agreement. Let's give away $1,000 to 2 people. I just want to say this as well. The way that we've been doing these giveaways are super easy. It's, of course, free to enter. They've got some information down in the description, or you can just listen here. We have been doing this giveaway now for a little while, and in each video we've been giving away $1,000 on the videos I remember. There's a few videos here and there where I have forgot, but the majority of the videos we're giving away $1,000 on each video. And this has been in correlation with Bybit. Okay, so though, with that said, I am aware Bybit is not available to everybody. Okay, the only entry requirement is a $1 trade. You have to have traded at least $1, which is accessible to everybody, right? You're watching this on some sort of device. You have $1. That's the entry. You have to trade $1. And we have been running this via a Bybit bot. And I understand Bybit is KYC. Bybit is not available in the UK. It's not available in the USA. There are a lot of people who've been saying we really want to join the giveaway, but we're unable to because we cannot join Bybit. And so I've listened to that, I've understood that, and I've found a way to fix that for you. And we're going to be giving another $10,000 away, this time with Blowfin. So I recognize the need of a non-KYC exchange that is globally available. So I tested several different options. And for me, my personal experience, I was very happy with Blowfin. Okay, the CEO is doxed, so we know who the CEO is. They have proof of reserves. Extremely similar UI to Bybit. They just have a lot of good things that I like to see, and I tested it myself. Put my money there. Works nicely. So this is another giveaway that we're going to be doing. You can feel free to join if this is of interest to you. Of course, you can join the Bybit giveaway and you can join the Blowfin giveaway. It's absolutely free to join for everybody there. And so, yeah, we're going to be running today. I will finish with not finish. We're going to be doing it every time, but we'll run them in correlation. The Bybit giveaway, and now with Blowfin, we're going to be giving away $10,000. Okay, so super easy. Both will run simultaneously. Anyway, enough of the speaking. I know you wanted me to look at Ethereum, so let's really quickly give away $1,000. So the way we do this, I've already downloaded everybody that's entered the giveaway. You do this via the Discord. You just really simple. Discord is free to join, by the way. And if you do not know, I will just quickly show you how you join the Discord. So if you actually come over to chartchampions.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom of our website, You will see at the bottom here the social links. So you can just click on the Discord icon. And there you go. You are invited to the Discord. I can also write that in a comment. Free to join the Discord. Anyway, once you're in the Discord, you can come over to this giveaway section on the left-hand side. And once you're in the giveaway section here on the left-hand side, under information, where you see all the videos for the socials, you can come into this giveaway section, and here is where you can access the Bybit giveaway and, of course, now the Blowfin giveaway. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's give away $1,000. So I've already downloaded all the latest entrants just before starting this video. So this wonderfully tool is going to pick us. These are all the people. These are all the people that have entered the giveaway. We're going to pick 2 winners now. So we've loaded in all the user IDs. Let's spin the lucky wheel. These are all the people that have entered. Again, you have to have traded more than $1. Let's pick some winners. 2 winners. Congratulations. I'm not sure if I recognize it. If you have won before, we are saying, well, you can only win once. So I think that's fair enough. Otherwise, some people might start to think we're giving it away to the same guy all the time. Anyway, I do not think, I don't know if I recognize 444 or not. Anyway, if you haven't won before, you've just won $500. Congratulations. Reach out to customer service here. Send us your your crypto address. I can pay you via PayPal. I can pay you via crypto. Makes no difference to me. Whatever works best for you. I'll pay you via crypto. I'll pay you via PayPal. Again, this is a giveaway where people actually get their money. So this is a real giveaway. And I'm going to pick another winner here. So you just won $500. That's your user ID. Reach out to us and we'll give you your $500. Congratulations to this guy. You've just won 500. No, unfortunately you haven't. So you can see here, they have not traded more than $1. If this guy had traded $1, he would have just won $500. Now that's a return on investment. Unfortunately, you did not trade $1. You are not eligible to win here. Let's pick another winner instead. $500. Your $500 has just gone to this guy. As long as you've traded $1. Yes, you have traded $1. So this guy, reach out to us. We'll send you, well, I will send you the $500, during the weekend. So I won't promise I'll get to it this evening, but I will send it over the weekend for sure. So congratulations, you two. $500, $500. That's all that. Lovely thing to give back to the community. Hope you've enjoyed. And yeah. If you want to enter the next giveaway that we're doing, again, that is via the new Blowfin partnership that we have. And that is really just because of the need of the non-KYC exchange. Not everyone wants to KYC, but also on top of that, it's globally available. So whether you're in the UK, the USA, the Canada, the Australias, the France, the Netherlands, the Spain, I don't know. There's a lot of places where just like trading is restricted. So if you want a non-KYC exchange, available everywhere. Well, that's why I decided to hook us up with one. Chose Blowfin, and again, we're giving away $10,000 with Blowfin, so can't complain about that, right? And again, those 2 people, you just won $500 each. Enjoy that. Have a nice meal out on me. So, with that said, and I will just say massive shout out to Bybit, by the way, of course, massive shout out to Bybit. They are always my favorite exchange, always have been, always will be. I love Bybit, but of course I will not trade it just only on one exchange, and now I am also trading on Blowfin. I'm also trading, by the way, on BingX. Like BingX for me is also a nice exchange, but anyway, those are like my 3 exchanges now. Anyway, I was going to look at Ethereum for you all. So Ethereum. Before that, I just want to say this because I had been having an extremely sore throat. We are now 35 minutes into the stream and my throat is feeling a lot better than normal. Do you want to know my secret? My secret, my friends, has been New Zealand. Shout out to New Zealand because I have got some Manuka, raw Manuka honey. And this Manuka honey has been absolutely wonderful. So if you have a sore throat or anything similar, I recommend you all right now research Manuka honey, M-A-N-U-K-A honey. I went for the 15 plus UMF, with a 514 MGO. New Zealand organic, raw, lovely, lovely, lovely Manuka honey. And this has been helping me a lot. So I'm very pleased with that, by the way. And the other thing, you want to see what's new? I've always been a very loyal iPhone user. So I have the iPhone. You know what I got? The Samsung. So now I'm in a little bit of a battle between myself. I'm thinking Apple versus Samsung. What are we going to go for long term? I'm in the process of like testing them both. See what I end up with anyway. I think that's enough of that. We'll go back to the charts. Yeah, but shout out to the honey. I literally want to have the whole bottle, but I then look at the thing. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a lot. Of course, it's honey. It's a lot of sugar. Probably shouldn't drink the whole tub, although I would like to. Before I forget, here we go. So just a note here, you can clearly see the stock market came down, swing failure pattern, the lows, it's holding up. Bitcoin, not quite the same, but we're into the middle of the channel. It's attempting to hold up at these lows, right? I wouldn't really call doing an amazing job of it. But that's what it's attempting to hold right now. Ethereum. Well, the reason why I'm so interested in longing the dip on Ethereum is just because I just feel there's a super high probability that we take out 5,000. And again, I think Ethereum could end like this. I wouldn't be super bullish on Ethereum, but I just feel this is the all-time high. And I will play this like I played Bitcoin. So Bitcoin put in its all-time high, right? Bitcoin put it in its all-time high. Imagine this is Ethereum. This is Ethereum right now at 4,990, whatever, it's all-time high. What happened? Bitcoin pulled back, actually got a deep retrace, but it eventually came up to take out the all-time high before the much bigger retrace. I'm looking to trade Ethereum the same way. So Ethereum, just mimic this price action on ETH. We've currently put in an all-time high, front-running $5,000. Well, remember, let me just make it even easier for you here. Here on the left-hand side, we've got Ethereum. Here on the right-hand side, what I'm going to put on is Bitcoin. Okay, so we got Bitcoin on the right, we got Ethereum on the left. Let's go full screen. I'm going to make this very interesting for you. So I'm comparing Ethereum and Bitcoin here. So what I want to do, actually, I do want to take that out here a second. Here we are, happy on the 4 hour. We'll come down to the same time frame. 12 hour actually on Bitcoin. Okay, so this is what we're going on to. Right, so the way I'm looking at Bitcoin, the way I'm looking at Ethereum, sorry, is going to be very similar to how I looked at Bitcoin. Look at this. We put in our all-time high. We entered consolidation, downward sloping consolidation. Look at this. We put in our all-time high. We've entered downward sloping consolidation. This so far is very, very similar to this. What happens next? You get a flush to the downside. Thus, I would like flush to the downside. What happened next? Rise to all-time highs. Bigger drop. What would I like on Ethereum? Rise to bigger highs. Well, I'm happy to see a bigger drop after that. That for me would be absolutely lovely. And I would say, why would we not expect that? So I am interested in longing the dip on Ethereum because I expect new all-time highs to be hit. And then we look at one of two things. Failed auction, well then we get the short right. If we do not get the failed auction, well then we can get continuation. I don't really mind which way it goes. If we get the failed auction, I'll take a short. If not, I'll remain in the long. But I am very interested in longing the dip on Ethereum because I am expecting it to play out very similarly to Bitcoin. All-time high, another one to come. All-time high, pull back, another one, then. Okay, that's how I'm looking at Ethereum. And again, for me, it's a very key factor, the way that it front run. 5,000 psychological. That for me is key. So with the front run of the 5,000 psychological, yeah, these pullbacks are normal. but I am very much looking forward to long heavily Ethereum. But again, I would like to see a little bit lower, to be honest with you. Ideally below $4,000 to around $3,500 would be my ideal, right? If I can be greedy, that's where I'd ideally like to see Ethereum go to. You know, so that then leaves us in the situation. Again, I am not so bearish right now on a Bitcoin. I can say I can understand us holding up higher lows, pushing up again. But if we are to drop to $4,000 Ethereum, just bear in mind that could bring us down to around $100,000 Bitcoin. Just not so sure it's going to be. I also feel Bitcoin can push up again here before a bigger drop. Again, it's a difficult one. This is a difficult one. And again, why is it difficult here? We are in the exact bang on middle of the range. Again, I just want to emphasize this. My longs were from the very low of the move. The take profits or shorts are from the very high of the move. This is where we look for longs. This is where we look for shorts. We are now in the middle. We are bang on in the middle. You can see down here, we have good probability for long. We have up here, good probability for shorts. Why are we looking to trade the middle of the range? Well, I'm not. I've made that very clear. I am not interested in trading the middle of the range. I was interested in trading the higher the range. I was literally taking profits at a very higher the range. All right, that is an interesting place to trade because I've got a good probability there of a pullback. But again, right in the middle here, why would I want to trade that, right? Why would I want to trade this? The only reason I'd want to trade this, I suppose, is if I didn't trade this or I didn't trade this. Well, then I might be a little bit more inclined to take a gamble, a 50-50, but that's not me. That's not who I am. I'm not a gambler. I'm not a 50-50. I'm good probability longs, good probability shorts. I avoid the 50-50 gamble. And that's why when I say here today, where's it going next? Well, we are in the middle of the range. This is a 50-50 zone. I could understand a move up. I could understand a full retracement. Why would I look to trade here? Well, I am not. I will trade the highs. I will trade the lows. The middle, not so keen on. You know, and I'm in a very advantageous position to be able to do and say that because, well, I was confident enough to take the longs at the lows and then take profits at the highs, right? So, anyway, I want to say this. I really have got planned out a full video on this, and this is going to be on the higher term time frame. What I've been talking about today is all medium term time frame things. Okay, so on the medium term, lower term time frame, you know, we got a 50-50 rise or drop here. But on the higher term time frames, I've got a much clearer opinion here. And I'm going to be releasing a video next week. And I want to just hype this up because it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to be talking about long-term bear market on Bitcoin. When and why the bear market will be starting. I want to be talking about that next week on a video. So I just want you to get excited, get hyped, smash those likes, share this content because we all agree Bitcoin is bullish long term. You know, when we're looking years into the Bitcoin loves to go up long term, yes, but closer. We are following some big bearish formations on the higher term time frame that I cannot ignore. All will be shared in my next video. I plan to release this next week. I say this, turn on the notifications. This is going to be a must-watch video, and we're going to be talking about the start of the bear market on Bitcoin, higher term time frame perspective. It's going to be a good one. Super looking forward to that one. And I think the last thing that I want to mention here is giving the praise and, you know, always remaining. I wrote this the other day. It was like, you know, we got to humble ourselves always, right? We are, you know, I may look like some sort of master on the charts or something like this. You could, you know, just a normal guy. Me and you, we're the same, right? I've worked very, very hard for where I am. This isn't luck, right? You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the work. You know, you do not randomly become a good trader. You do not wake up one day and just become a good trader. No, You have to work hard for this. But I want to say this, and again, I say this just because there's a lot of irrational people, but I mean this very rationally, right? So I know where my passion and my skill comes from, and I also understand both sides of the coin. I truly believe that God, the Lord, blessed me with the gift of trading, and now my purpose is to share that gift, love, and passion of trading with you. I know in this space of crypto, especially, but the whole trading world, really, what do we have? We have, well, you could call them fake, false prophets. There's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of scammers. There's a lot of people that love to pretend what they know, what they're on about, but they really don't. We are in one of the biggest scam markets ever. Like, so many scams. I say this, tread lightly on this, but one could even say when you even go to the top level, presidents, they even seem to have scam coins. Not mentioning any names. Trump. Wonder what happened to Trump coin. Again, I'm not saying anything good or bad about Trump. I'm just saying, look at Trump coin. In fact, we can just load it up a second. Trump coin. Trump coin, Trump coin, Trump coin, Trump coin. My friends, I'm still short on Trump coin from $69. I have, and I had, and I have, and I still have. I'm not the English teacher. $69 short on Trump coin. Still hold that today at $8. Right, this is the president of the United States of America shilling this coin while it's at all-time highs. My friends, this coin is down nearly 90%. So when I talk about scams in this space, it's not just, your typical YouTubers that are coming in here and pumping and dumping random. It goes to the top level. This really is the Wild West. And that makes me sad. As a person that really values integrity, what are we if it's not our word? It's so sad. It really is sad. I really, really mean this. When I think about, even like just heart to heart, like think about some of your friends. I think about my friends or friends that I had, and like everyone, so many people backstabbing, especially when you have money. And I come to realize this, like people are just so desperate. And of course, I understand that is sad, but even I had people that I met that didn't need to be desperate. They were very well off, but they still were always desperate for more and more and more. And truly, I got backstabbed by wealthy people, and it's just like, why do you do this? So people at the very lows, people at the very highs, everywhere I look is just like, it's so sad. People scamming people left, right, and center. People taking advantage of people left, right, and center. It's like, where are people's values? Where are the morals? Where is the integrity? And it really feels like that is something lacking. It's kind of disgusting the way people like try and make their money nowadays. It really is sad. Anyway, so yeah, that I think is extremely sad. But anyway, I digress. And I just say, I believe God blessed me with a gift of trading. My purpose is to share it with you in a very honest and integral way. My love and passion I have, and I truly enjoy what I do here in trading, and I want to give that across to you. And I just say this, for me, all glory to the Lord, for he is wonderful and loving. If you do not know him yet, I really pray that you do have the opportunity to meet him. He is there ready and waiting for you to call and pick up your phone, accept that call. It will be the best decision. Truly, the peace that the Lord gives is wonderful. And for me, as an atheist that became a Christian, this for me has just been life changing. And I really promote nowadays, just read the Bible, open yourself up to it, open your heart, and I really believe good things will come. But anyway, my overall, I just say I'm super thankful to even have a platform, have a space. And, this is two sides of the coins, right? God gave, I believe, and I say I know, I suppose, that God gave me a gift in trading. He gave me that gift. He could have give everybody in the world, let's say, the gift of trading, or whatever it could be, right? The gift of running a marathon, the gift of X, Y, and Z. So God can give us these gifts, but a lot of people do not use them. I realize this is my gift. I am actively every single day helping in the community, putting in the time, my effort. Like I'm giving my everything to chart champions. That's something nobody can deny. Every single day, I am here. I am working. I'm working with my own trading. I'm working actively in the community. Right? This is undeniable. Like I'm putting in the time and effort. But a lot of people, they will have a gift and they just let it go to waste. They'll be too lazy. They will be too stubborn. They will be too prideful. You know, do not squander your gifts. Or if you do not have a natural born gift, it is something you can learn. Okay. You do not have to have a natural born gift. You know, you can absolutely put in the time. Okay. Sometimes, you know, you take two traders, you could say one has a natural born gift for this, the other doesn't. But a lot of the time, the guy with a natural born gift, you know, peaks, becomes complacent. You don't hear about him. But a guy that's consistent, the guy that's putting in the effort, the guy that works for it every day, well, he's going to get ahead in the long run. It takes a, you know, if you look at it in a race, this guy excels quickly, but platters off. The slow and steady never stops. So I hope that you can think about that. And I really, really, really think about that. I made a comment today. Of course, the trades that I've been showing you and sharing with you are on one of my accounts that, I'll be honest, I don't really care about. You know, just because the amount is small. But on my main trading accounts, and I want to do this in a non-boasting way, because I don't want to boast about it, but I just want to kind of, it's a double-edged sword because I talk about lots of profits and it's like, oh, this guy's boasting. But at the same time, I don't want to do that. I want to inspire you. I just want to tell you this, like, without sounding super big-headed, if this is even possible, but the profits that I made on one of my trades, which has been a simple trade, but I mean, let's just say, like, it's hard to comprehend sometimes that the profits made on one single trade, I made the example today, like this could buy a super villa in Miami. Okay, so you can Google how much a super villa in Miami is. You know, you have to be trading 9-10 figures to get to this place, but again, you put in the hard work. What's stopping you trading those 9 figures? And so, you know, I just want to say that, like, trading is crazy. Trading is crazy. Again, we all start small. I started with small accounts. But as compounds, it grows. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's just, it to me is just crazy. In no other place in the world, 1 week, making millions of dollars of profit. Like, how can you do that? That growing your whole portfolio, even by 10%, right? Which is something that we're doing, like 10% portfolio. Where else are you doing that apart from trading? Trading is a crazy game. Of course, big profits, but you can take big losses. Okay, there's that side of the coin. You have to be careful. You have to have good risk management. You have to take profits at key levels. Don't be the guy that gets the big profits and loses it all. You have to be consistent. You have to be humble. You have to be able to update your bias. You have to be patient for the good entries, not greedy to take your profits. But I think it all main point would probably be risk management. You don't want to blow your whole portfolio on one trade, right? Anyway, I just wanted to wrap up with that, saying, like, all glory for the Lord, like, he is the savior, he died for our sins, and truly offers the biggest peace possible. You know, I just wanted to say that, and I will end by saying one thing, and that is to not become obsessed with money, because I know this. We are in a space of trading in finance. Our whole goals are monetary. For, you know, the majority of this, the goals are monetary goals, right? We started out trading to make money, and you're probably trading to make money, right? So what we do want to be very careful of, and I do need to wrap this up because you can probably tell my throat is getting a little. I want to say this because it's important. Do not be consumed by the pursuit of money. Again, I got backstabbed by wealthy individuals. They didn't need to do that. But what is it? It's greed. It's that always wanting more. The multimillionaire that wants more, it's like, why? So yeah, from the lows to the highs, the pursuit of money is toxic, is dangerous. I thankfully have reached a level where I am not placing money on a pedestal. I do not work for money. I make money work for me. That's a good one, right? But I'm not working, or I'm not in this chasing money. I've met every monetary goal possible. I'm now using my wealth for very, very good avenues. Again, I do not need to disclose this, but I can, again, I don't need to prove anything to anybody, but the Lord above us knows my money is going to very good charitable needs. And this is what we should strive for. This is what I think we should strive for, right? To do good for the world. What's the point in making all this money if we just hoard it and we go for more and more and more and more? It's just not really, I don't think that's the goal, right? So God is not against having wealth, but God is against idolizing wealth. So if you have wealth, spread the wealth, use that for good, and I believe your blessings will be multiplied. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. Yeah, I mean, thoughts on Bitcoin here. Again, I think we're in the middle of the range, but at the end of the day, we've gone from range high to range low to range high. We can absolutely come down to the range low and then come back up into the range high. You know, that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. We are just simply range bound, lower term time frame. We're in the exact middle of the range. You don't really have a good edge here. It's also a Friday evening. Oh my God, I didn't even show you what I was looking at then. Anyway, real simple stuff. What I was saying here, we've gone from the range high to the range low to the range high to the range low. We can absolutely come back up to the range high. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Anyway, I digress. Hope you've enjoyed. This was just a lower term time frame, bit of a fun stream. I'll be back with the higher term time frame, big bearish formations, big start at a bear market video. I plan to release that next week. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Again, for the guys that won the $500, reach out and I'll send you those $500. And finally, for our next $10,000 giveaway, you can sign up, join that giveaway now, and we'll start to give out that $10,000 as well. So, yeah, again, this is open to absolutely everybody. You could have literally $1 to your name, and you could win. So, well, you will win actually. So, in terms of this giveaway, is slightly different. This one is not a random lucky draw pick, right? You are eligible as soon as you get entered, but. Anyway, we're going to plan more things, do more giveaways and things like this. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you had a little bit of fun with me on the Friday evening. If you do, you know what to do. Hit that like button, share it out. Always appreciated. And I just pray that you have a very blessed weekend. So if you made profits, amazing. Make sure you protect those profits. If you lost, no worries. Every loss is a lesson. Learn from that. Take the weekend to study. Really, really analyze what went wrong. Come back next week stronger with more knowledge. Every loss is truly a lesson. Yeah, take the weekend off. Enjoy it. Thank you ever so much. Hope you've enjoyed. And I will see you. Well, I will actually be trading the weekend. So I will be here tomorrow. But I probably will. I'm not going to make a video tomorrow, to be honest with you. I will make, though, a video next week. But I'll be in the Discord should you want to speak to me in the weekend. I will be available in the Discord. And shout out, by the way, to Jason Casper. Thank you ever so much. Of course, you all know, not very appreciated. It's very appreciated. $100 donation from Jason. And his words are the most important here. Thank you for the TA stream, but the most important here, God bless you. God bless you, Jason. God bless everybody watching this. Jason, also a fellow Christian. I was on Jason's channel the other week. Absolute legend. Really, really, really another great Christian. So super, super, super appreciated of that and your kind words. So yeah, praying for you and your family as well, Jason. I thank you ever so much. Hope you've all enjoyed this one. And anyway, I'm signing out now. Cheers, everybody. Thank you and goodbye.